Hey everyone, it's Jessie checking in from Val d'Isère. It's a grey but fairly mild Friday morning here in resort, with the clouds hanging over the valley and the village slowly waking up for another busy day on the slopes and around town. It was a mild and fairly calm night in town, with dry conditions throughout and no precipitation recorded. Temperatures hovered just above freezing for most of the night, dipping slightly to just under 1 degree by sunrise this morning. Winds stayed light overall, with occasional gusts at about 20 kilometers per hour at times, so a fairly gentle night around the village. Looking at the forecast around the village today, it's going to stay mostly overcast through the morning, although the cloud may break up a little as the day goes on. Temperatures in town are expected to reach around 6 degrees Celsius this afternoon, which is fairly mild for this time of year. Winds will stay light for most of the day, generally coming from the east this morning before shifting more southeast later on, with occasional gusts reaching around 30 kilometers per hour. Up on Bellevarde summit, the story is quite similar, just a bit cooler and slightly windier. Temperatures up top are expected to peak at around 1 degree Celsius, with mostly overcast skies and limited sunshine through the day. Winds start off light this morning, but may pick up to a gentle breeze later this afternoon, with gusts approaching 30 kilometers per hour at times. Visibility should remain fairly good despite the cloud cover. And would you believe it, Six Nations Rugby is back on the screens in resort tonight. Over at Le Hibou, it's Friday night rugby fever as Ireland take on Wales in one of the fiercest rivalries in the tournament. Kick-off is at 9:10 this evening with full live commentary. Ireland have been one of the dominant forces in recent Six Nations campaigns, while Wales always bring that huge passion and explosive style of play, so this one should be lively. The Black Sheep will also be showing the match tonight at 9:10, and after the final whistle, they've got live music with Tom Bushin starting from 10 o'clock. And if you fancy something a bit different, the Blue Note is running its regular Friday night darts tournament from 9 o'clock. It's doubles, €5 per player, with space for 16 teams. First come, first served, so if you want a spot, it's best to sign up early at the bar. Here's a translated summary of the official Bulletin d'estimation du risque d'avalanche issued by Météo France for the Vanoise massif. Overall avalanche danger today is limited above 2,200 metres and low below that altitude. So generally speaking, the snowpack is fairly well stabilised at the moment, but there are still a few things to keep in mind if you're heading off-piste. The main concern comes from persistent weak layers buried deeper in the snowpack. These layers of angular grains are now much less reactive than earlier in the season, but in some areas they can still be triggered. On north-facing slopes above around 2,200 metres, particularly near ridgelines or in areas with thinner snow cover, it is still possible to trigger a slab if that buried weak layer is hit. On sun-exposed slopes, the situation is slightly different. At higher elevations, roughly above 2,500 to 2,600 metres, warming during the day can soften the upper snow layers. If the snow becomes wet enough, it may allow a deeper, weak layer to be triggered. In most cases, these would produce medium-sized avalanches, although in rare situations, larger ones are still possible. There is also a small chance of glide avalanches, particularly below about 2,400 metres on steep, rocky terrain, where the whole snowpack can slowly slide on the ground. As always, remember this is only a simplified summary. If you are planning to ski off-piste, you should always read the full official Avalanche Bulletin before heading out. You'll find the link to that in the video description. If you're planning to explore the off-piste mountains this season, always take a qualified guide and never go without a transceiver, shovel and probe. And most importantly, know how to use them and practice regularly. That's all for this morning's update from Val d'Isère. If you're heading out on the mountain today, enjoy the skiing and keep an eye on those cloud layers higher up. And as always, if you know of any events, live music, or good things happening around resort, drop them in the comments so we can share them with everyone. If you're finding our updates useful, a like and a subscribe to the Val d'Isère online YouTube channel really helps to support what we do and reach more people who love the resort.
For further information, please go to radiovaldisere.com, the local radio station with the most up-to-date information. Forecast information provided by meteoblue.com, infoclimat.fr and meteofrance.fr. Webcam pictures courtesy of the website valdisere.com.